Hello and a pleasant good evening and season's greetings as well. This is your senator and servant, Carla Joseph, welcoming you to another segment of On Point, my radio program to be heard every other Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. here on the People Station, WSTA Radio. In the studio with me this evening, and I'm so thankful she made it back this evening, is none other than one of my great friends. I would put that label on you, and colleague from when I worked at the Virgin Islands Housing Authority. We tag team on a lot of critical issues facing our young people, and that her name is Miss Jackie Brown, and she is the Regional Director for the Boys and Girls Club of St. Thomas, St. John. They operate from the Oswald Harris Court Housing Community in the Ruth Dassel Community Center, and she's been doing a lot of great work. Before we have Jackie, Ms. Brown, you want to say hi?
Hi, good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here tonight, and I extend season's greetings. Happy holidays to everyone at our listening voices. And, I know you're out for a real treat tonight. The senator and I we have been the perfect combination when it comes to dealing with our youth and our seniors as well. So it's an honor to be here tonight, Senator.
Thank you. And you mentioned the seniors. Our previous segment of the show, we were focusing a lot on our seniors, and just to recap, we were talking about assisted living facilities. I have some legislation that I submitted and I'm working on regarding putting some teeth into what we have in our laws regarding assisted living facilities. So that's one thing. And then, of course, our young people, of course, is another big part of how we have a very great and working relationship, because I managed a program successfully for young people who were disadvantaged and at risk, and provided opportunities and helped to transform their lives and their trajectory, how they're going to be able to move forward productively in our community, in our nation, and in our world. But before we get into the real meat of our discussion, I just wanted our listening audience to know just a bit of the legislative background. We did have a cancellation. I had to postpone, rather it's a postponement of the Committee on Government Operation and Consumer Protection, which I chair. That meeting was scheduled for December 17th, last week, Friday. Unfortunately, due to the burial and the funeral service for Mr. John Griot Jr., we had to postpone it. And so the committee meeting is postponed until January 19th, 2022. So on January 19, 2022, we should be having our meeting. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone is aware of that. We've been getting a lot of calls in the office, some calls regarding when it's going to happen. So January 19th is the next date. So since I'm finished with all of that, Ms. Brown, tell us a little bit about the Boys and Girls Club of St. Thomas and St. John.
The Boys and Girls Club is a non-profit organization that has been in existence here in the Virgin Islands for approximately over 40 years. That's a lot of years.
That's a long time. Mm-hmm.
And with that said, our mission statement is to enable all young people, especially who need us the most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. The valuable group of Young Boys and Girls Club ages 5 to 18 are emphasized in the mission statement, and our major focus is the overall development of their personalities.
That is incredible, because I have a pastor, one of the pastors of my denomination. I'm a Moravian, and he always says, you're attitude determines your altitude. How you have a nice personality, it helps to elevate you as a person because you have a really outgoing attitude. So I'm so happy that you
Absolutely.
focus on
Yes.
personality. That is a really key
Yes.
thing. Very good.
We help these young people identify who they are inside and what their potentials are and what they're very good at. You know, we allow them to be who they are. We have a loving, learning environment where they can grow to be productive. And the main purpose of the Boys and Girls Club St. Thomas St. John is to help those especially in need to have better opportunities in life.
No, let me stop you there. When you say especially in need, what are some of the needs that you look at? How do you determine those who are especially in need? How is that determined?
We determine that we have personal relationships with the schools and parents and the household. Okay, and working with some of these children on a daily basis, we know what their concerns are, where they hurt, where the pain is, and what we can do to assist these students. During this time of COVID, you know, everyone has been focused on managing the money, their households and everything, but who are managing the lives of these children? You know, that's where we come in.
Who is
Ideally,
this?
some of these children are left at home alone to fend for themselves, to do their academics by themselves with no supervision, no one to give account to, and everything like that. Boys and Girls Club, our doors are open. Our doors have been open throughout this whole entire period of time, and it will
And
continue
you're talking
to
about
stay
the
open.
pandemic. From the pandemic, you are a fearless group of people because you know a lot of things shut down, but you know the need for our young people, and you are saying the truth that a number of them are about the pandemic, even though you should be, but you're practicing caution and you're doing everything right so that to minimize the transmission of the pandemic. Go ahead.
It has been a very hard and lengthy road for our young people. And because of this, we have to place not 50%, but 100% plus on our young people. They are the ones that will be leading us in the future, in the very near future, as a matter of fact. And our daily, you know, we have to put daily, every single day, we have to let these people know that they're wanted, they're needed,
Our young people. They're our young
and
people.
we're here to help them. We're here to guide them.
And your guidance is not just limited to the young people themselves, but I'm sure you're providing other guidance to the families, to the mothers.
Absolutely.
The mothers. So share with us some of the activities our young people engage in who are part of your program that you manage.
Well, first, let me say we have been assisting families with the well-being of these children. And one of those things have been making sure, you know, along with the Department of Education, we have been making sure that our young people receive a hot, healthy meal every day.
Oh, wonderful.
Every day for the past 2 years plus, we've been providing a hot meal every day for over 100 students in our community. And this, right now, we're on a pause, but we will continue in January when school resumes again. And we're not doing this alone. This is only made possible by generous donations, a well-balanced board, and the contribution from Passport to Prosperity, who is also a non-profit organization.
Oh, beautiful.
They actually prepare these meals every day, deliver them to us.
So you're not using the school lunch program at all?
We do now that school is
In session?
In session.
Okay.
We've our students, not just at the Boys and Girls Club, but in the community as a whole, receive breakfast and lunch from Department of Education in the afternoons to ensure that these children get a hot meal in the evening. We have been providing them with that hot meal.
Okay, so this is some bread and butter issues that we're talking about. Family is everything. Assuring that we have a strong family structure benefits our community, and it helps uplift our community so that we are moving forward positively to meet the demands and the needs of our community. Ms. Brown, tell the listening audience how they can get in contact with you if they want to enlist someone in your program or enroll someone or even volunteer themselves to participate in your program and support you and support the program and the young people that you provide this critical service to.
Senator, that's so very easy. That's our easy part. We can be reached at our facility, again located in the Oswald Harris Court Community Center, the Ruth Dazzle Center, 340-725-6540. And my personal cell, which I love to give, we like to know we're available, maybe not 24 hours, but at least 20 hours a day. So my cell is 340-626-1633. And some of the programs that we're very good in doing, our daily programs consist of in-person classrooms assignments that begins every day, Monday to Friday, from 7:45 right up until 3 o'clock. And then in the hours of 3 to like 5 o'clock, we have students that come in that needs assistance with homework, tutoring, or just trying to catch up on unfinished class assignments. In the after-school program, we have a focus on homework assignment, tutoring, character and leadership development, sports, fitness and recreation, health and life skills, along with many local and national programs. In addition to our weekly activities, Senator, we engage our members in sailing on weekends over the St. Thomas Yacht Club.
And I know, not to cut you off, but I know at one time you also had swimming classes.
Oh, yeah.
So you still do. Right, because if you have them sailing, you want to ensure that they can swim. And that's a big thing. We have a lot of persons who live here, born in the Virgin Islands, and they cannot swim. And I was always elated and happy, and I was cheering and saying, what?
Yes.
The Boys and Girls Club, they're having a swimming class. So do you still do that?
Of course.
Oh, absolutely. Beautiful.
So now that they've learned to swim, we move them up to sailing. And then we have grassroots soccer on Saturdays as well over the Anthony School. And we have boating and environmental projects on weekend.
Oh, I love environmental projects.
Oh, yeah.
That is, I years ago when I was a volunteer and the president of an organization, environmental justice organization, we had environmental education courses that we used to provide to students who were in middle school. And it was very great. It was a very good program. We got a grant to do it. And some of those young people, they went on to be environmentalists themselves or marine biologists. Yes. So that goes to my next question. How have you seen the work that you've been doing for the past over 10 years? You've been doing this work. How long have you been doing this work?
19 years.
19. I know it's been a long time.
And that question excites me.
How you see?
Very much so, because through the Boys and Girls Club, we've had radiologists.
What?
We have a doctor.
Oh, what? A medical doctor.
Yes.
A medical
doctor. Our last student was also a junior angel volunteer through the Community Foundation of the Virgin Islands. He's in college right now to be a neurosurgeon.
Oh, good.
You know, and
he was enrolled in the Boys and Girls Club.
I just had a student that came to see me on Friday. A former student, graduated now, and she came to say goodbye, and we said goodbye. It was a very emotional thing. Because how many of you there in the audience, especially educators, could say that, well, I have a student whose dream is to become an air pilot. You know, that's a very rare
occupation
to
for
want
people.
to be in.
Yeah, to be an airplane pilot is very rare. That
Yeah.
especially you've seen people who are coming from needs and have needs and coming out of a level of being disadvantaged,
Yeah.
impoverished, and they are saying that they want to be an airplane pilot. And are they working towards getting it? And if
Yes.
your exposure through your organization, they will be able to make contact and connect with people who can support them in achieving their career goals.
And right now we have 7 members that have gotten their diving certificate.
Wow.
And they are in hopes that someday they can be the captain of one of those cruise ships up there, in addition to maybe the Coast Guard, you know, in that field
So
of
it's-
professional diver.
Right.
So this isn't not just about doing weekend programs to keep our children occupied. We have them focus on maybe this could be a career.
Getting them
You know,
set
you could
and
be
getting
a
them.
professional soccer player. You could be a professional captain. You could be a professional sailor.
The
You could be a
options are,
professional book writer.
options are endless.
They're endless, you know, infinity. And at the Boys and Girls Club, we really give them a sense of pride.
Yes.
We let them know that this is your dream, not ours, not your parents, not formal education. This is your dream, and you are the one that have to, you know, clear that path for your dream.
Absolutely. So this evening we are not taking any calls. The station, their phone lines are not operable right now. But if you are on Facebook Live, you can always send us a text through Facebook Live if you want to ask Ms. Jackie Brown, the Regional Director for the Boys and Girls Club of St. Thomas, St. John, any questions. Please feel free to text and let us know if you have any questions regarding that. But the phone lines here at the radio station is not operable, is inoperable right now. They're working on those technical issues. But so we'll just go ahead and continue with our discussion. So again, for the listening audience, if you're just joining us for the first time this evening, be aware that we have in our studio as our guest Ms. Jackie Brown, the Regional Director of the Boys and Girls Club of St. Thomas, St. John.
And Senator, before we leave, I'd like to actually say that one of the organization's main goal this new year is to launch a Boys and Girls Club on a smaller island, St. John.
Ooh.
And in doing so, yes, we will start off very small, serving our youths from 1st to the 6th grade. And later on, you know, as the year progresses, the months, we'll increase those numbers to include teens.
Oh.
And this will also engage them in weekend activities.
Right. And these are programs families, mothers, fathers can place their children in and know that they are in a safe haven. That is critical. That could help them bridge the gap if they're having challenges with the students' education. Ms. Brown is very diligent and has a number of supporters throughout the community who can then support your child or children in their overall development, because we know knowledge is the key and education is critical for our people to be uplifted. A community that is well educated is a community that will make great progress. We just look at one of our Caribbean neighbors, Barbados.
Yeah.
Barbados has a high literacy level. of its citizens. And look what they're doing. They're independent. They're even removing the crown, the queen, from being so involved in their process. She's practically gone.
Yeah.
That is practically gone. So education is critical. I also, because I know the good work that you do, I'm very confident and committed to that work that you do in the Boys and Girls Club. So I was able to lobby successfully with my colleagues to provide some funding, additional funding for you to help you achieve those things that you know are critical for the young people. And through Act number 8474, we were able to appropriate $150,000 to the Boys and Girls Club of St. Thomas and St. John. I really have to say hats off to all of the members of the Committee on Finance. I am not a member of the Committee on Finance, and how I got it done is God helped me a lot, because I went to all of the committee meetings. I know the needs that in our community relative to grassroots. I took some time. I was invited to the markup, and I said, I have to see how I could try my very best to convince my colleagues to provide some funding for the Boys and Girls Club. And it was not a hard ask. They were very accommodating. I have to really thank them for that. I'm very grateful, and that you will be getting that money to provide that critical service to this population. We need to be assured that we are training young people and providing opportunities for them in a structured setting that they are going to be set up for success.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all the time. I have a strong love for our community. Our community helped me. They helped me raise my children, and as a single parent, they helped me take care of my mom, who, when she was terminally ill, they helped. And this is a very respectful and loving and kind community. We do dish out the tough love. I'm not going to say we don't. We dish it out, but it's only to bring you up, right? Not to harm you. And so it's my pleasure to stay here and stand strong, even in the midst of any challenges and storms, to be here to serve our people. I really relish and I really enjoy. I get deep pleasure from doing that type of work with our people. So Ms. Brown, thank you so much for being here. The time is clicking. We are almost out of time here. And I'm hoping that by our next show time, which is December 28th, we will be able to entertain some calls and hear from our listening audience. I do have some persons who are going to be guest speakers again on the show. The show is only for about 30 minutes, so we have to be really quick. Tell them again, tell the listening audience how they can get in contact with the Boys and Girls Club of St. Thomas St. John.
You can call our main line, 340-725-6540. My cell, 340-626-1633. And I'd like to close in thanking our board. I have a very phenomenal board who work very hard in making the Boys and Girls Club the positive place for kids. So I wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and thank God for New Year to come.
Okay, that is wonderful. If you want to get in contact with me, you can always link me up on Facebook at Senator Carla J. Joseph. I also have a website page, which is senatorcarlajoseph.com. I have my email, senatorcarlajoseph@ledgevi.org, or you can contact me at my legislative office, which the number there is 340-693-3515. You call that number, it may not answer, but leave a voicemail and it goes straight to our email. And so I would ask you, Ms. Brown, do you have you have a website for the Boys and Girls Club?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Our website is bgzvi.org.
Okay, that is wonderful. What about Facebook? You're working on that?
Yes, same thing. Yeah.
Okay, so you have a Facebook page too. Okay, so that's great. You have a lot going on. We are at the end of our program, but I want to first of all thank you, Ms. Brown, for joining us this evening for another segment of On Point. And thanks to my hardworking staff and as well as the committee members who are my committee members of Joseph Action Committee. And big thank you to the listening audience for hearing us. And whether you were just listening in and you are following our conversation on Facebook Live or on WSDA Radio, we want to say thank you so much for your time and here listening. A massive thank you again. I can't say how much thanks I can give to you. Thank you to Ms. Jackie Brown for being here this evening. And thank you for sharing with me and sharing with our listening audience the important work that you're doing in the trenches in our public housing communities and your vision to expand this critically needed service to our sister island, Love City, St. John. On Point can be heard every other Tuesday here on the People Station WSDA Radio from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Let's together work and to stay on point together, Virgin Islands. Our next program airing should be next week, Tuesday, December 28th. We're looking forward to hearing you and having you listen into another segment of On Point. Season's greetings to everyone. God bless you mightily and have a good evening. Thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Underline.